So, with the plum pudding model being discredited by Geiger and Marston, we end up coming up with the Rutherford model. The Rutherford model is also referred to the planetary model of an atom. I guess we just don't want to give Rutherford a hard time for what he did. So the Rutherford model basically looks at the data that we already saw. That he saw that the massive deflection of the alpha particles happened every so often. From there, he's able to determine the size of the nucleus of that gold particle, that gold atom. Okay, and he comes to the realization that most of the mass and most of the charge is located in the center. In a sense, he discovers the nucleus. Okay. So he discovers that most of the mass, most of the charge is in the center, and he believes that the electrons orbit around that nucleus. He comes to this belief by using other things in nature. Much like Galileo grabs his telescope, looks up at Jupiter, at the Galilean moons, and says, hey, the moons are revolving around Jupiter. Is it Jupiter or Saturn? I don't remember. They're revolving around that heavenly body in this path. I wonder if the model of Jupiter is actually the model for our solar system. So and says, hey, look, there's a model of our solar system in our solar system. We've got these orbiting bodies around a planet. Okay? Is it possible that our planet is an orbital body around the sun? Okay? So Rutherford looks at the same model. Very massive object in the center, has a great deal of attraction due to Coulomb's law. Lots of positive charge and negative charge. Negative charge is attracted to it. So the electrons just simply circle around that positive charge. So he's looking back. Galileo looks back to Jupiter. Jupiter predicts, he from there is able to determine that the Earth revolves around the sun because he sees it in a Jupiter model. Rutherford looks at the data he's getting, looks back to Galileo, says, is it possible both planetary motion is the exact same model for an atom? And he believes it is. He believes that the electrons orbit much in the same way planets orbit around the sun. Okay? So his belief is that planets orbit around the sun, but that means that electrons can orbit anywhere around the sun. They can have any kind of value. It may be just slightly off, the orbital value of one may be just slightly off from the orbital value of the other. There's no specific place in that orbital distance from the nucleus to where the electrons are that's stable. They all can be stable. You just have to have the right configuration. Okay? So that is Rutherford's model, the planetary model. He also believes that when energy is given off from the system, that this, let's say the energy is given off in the form of light from the system, that this simply decays into another stable orbit. Okay? So that's Rutherford's model, his planetary model. The problem with the planetary model is what we already knew. From spectroscopy, we know that hydrogen has discrete lines. If you were to split up the light that comes from hydrogen, on hydrogen alone, excited hydrogen, you see two discrete lines. So the energy that's given off by hydrogen has to be either this line or that line. It can't be this line, that line, and all the lines in between, which would be the Rutherford model. Okay? That you would have a band of color because it could just drop down into a discrete orbit here or all the way down, filling in this region. Okay? So spectroscopy proves, we already know but it is the only model that we have. So for a while there, not a very long while, we have Rutherford's model of planetary motion being the model of the atom. More spectrum lines, dude, you totally dropped the ball on that. It means that these things can only be orbited. So that's Rutherford's model of the atom.